threatened to kill Rusty?
I did. Only one voice matters. Yours.
The best damn racing show, period.
Wind Tunnel with Dave Despain, presented by Alltel. Sunday night, 9 Eastern, live and only on Speed.
I know where he's heading. Don't worry, I'll be there.
Now playing at Sea-Doo.com.
There is no power greater than the power of nature. And there is no spark plug more capable of harnessing power than the patented Denso Iridium Power Spark Plug. Denso Iridium Power Spark Plugs. For improved horsepower and better fuel economy on any vehicle from street to strip. Visit DensoPerformance.com for more information.
Rated everyone. Who needs roads when there's dirt? Out now.
The Grand Am Rolex Series comes to Iowa Speedway for the first time, July 13th and 14th. Call or go online for tickets.
This is what the fastest car in the Rolex Sports Car Series looks like at the moment. Welcome back, everyone. The Brumos Porsche 250 continues. This is a Pontiac Riley, however, that belongs to Bob Stallings and his Gainsco crew, and they really have their act together in 2007.
You know, it's not like people haven't suggested that there's something wrong with the car, but they've torn this car apart from stem to stern. They took the engine completely apart last race.
Well, what you should do is clarify they.
That's true. Grand Am at post-race tech pulled the engine down last time, completely down, measured everything. Everything's right. They've taken the gearbox apart. They've taken suspension apart. They've looked at all the parts and pieces, and the car is straight up legal. But the guys have found something, some magic somewhere.
They've found something in the suspension setup, Dorsey. I think it may be in the differential, but the car just puts the power down and launches off the corners like no one else in the field.
Trouble here for Rob Finlay after a brilliant qualifying position in 10th. Now, I think he may have just blown the bus stop, and he's just stopped and readdressed that situation.
He didn't get into the bus stop, and instead of having an accident, he stopped, which is what the rule says. You come to the end right where that cone was knocked down, stop the car completely, and then start over again.
This is a fast race car. Michael Valiente had the fastest race lap in the last round at Mid-Ohio, and he's chomping at the bit to get behind the wheel of this 19 machine. Pruitt talked about strategy. Is this strategy or a problem on the 01 machine?
Rojas is in, and in early. Just 6 laps down. Now, do we see a driver change early? No. Memo Rojas, the young Mexican, will stay in.
This has to be strategy call there, topping him up with fuel, and he's back underway. So he is the first of the leaders to make that mandatory stop. And you cannot do it before the green flags of the 23 car starting in pit lane. That does not count as part of your 45-minute stop. So this is the first of the leaders and championship contenders.
Trouble here, one of the Corvettes on the track, very slow. It's the 43. He's up on the banking, but he's barely going quickly enough to stay up there.
Joe Nonamaker in the Team Salem Corvette. And again, the countdown clock at the top of your screen, that's not until race end, of course. That's until the close of that first 45 minutes where everybody must be in. Now, that's what happened to Rob Finlay.
Yeah, he didn't just blow it, he really
backed through it.
Yeah.
This obviously is going to be, here's a better look. Boy, he was offline a little bit to the inside there, too much speed. Calvin looks like he locked the rear brakes for sure.
Yeah, too much rear brake bias there, gotten a little bit deep, and as you turn and Dorsey, it just rotates the car around, but shouldn't be any damage to the machine, hopefully, and it'll continue.
That was the onboard view from Jorg Bergmeister in the Ruby Tuesday Porsche, and Jorg is doing an outstanding job. He's come from the back of the Daytona prototype field. He is up into 9th already. Chris, what do you have for us?
Well, Lee, we talked about how Scott Pruitt has been so consistent this year. Actually, Paul Edwards and Kelly Collins, also a very consistent team. It's been 5 top finishes in the last 5 races. You haven't gotten that first win. We've seen how strong the Pontiac is on the twisty courses. Now we're back at Daytona, the long straightaways. Can you beat the Mazda here?
You know, the Pontiac GXP is really surprising me. I wasn't looking forward to coming here because, I mean, we qualified 14th here for the 24-hour race and had our work cut out for us. But, you know, we were 3rd quickest in practice today, and Kelly qualified awesome and did 2nd. And we're losing about a half a second a lap right now to the Mazda. But, you know, the Pontiac GXP, we're always known for our consistency, and we're always there at the end of a stint. So, you know, Lally just got in the car too, so that'll be interesting to see what he does with the car. But we're looking pretty darn good.
As Paul referenced there, while we were away at our break, Andy Lally got behind the seat of the 66 machine, so they have come in, done their pit stop. Andy Lally's the pro at bringing it from the back. Brian?
Sylvain Tremblay, the principal here at Speed Source Mazda and co-driver with Nick Ham. You guys are back. I'm sure if you could get Watkins Glen and Lime Rock to go away, you would. You guys certainly seem to have the speed here. Are you going to have the longevity? Or are you going to have enough to make it to the end and get a victory and get back in this championship hunt even more?
That's been our only focus. I mean, speed on long runs. That's what got us the lead at the beginning of the season. We got away from that, so we paid the price a little bit. We had a little bit of bad luck. We crashed the car, and you know, now we're back to where we need to be. Nick's doing a great job, so we'll see what happens.
Well, we're going to see what happens because the full course caution is out, guys.
Yeah, you could see Sylvain getting distracted there. The crew firing into action. First full course yellow, and it was due to the 85 Farnbacher Lowell's Porsche being off track. That's Ian Boss. Again, as we mentioned, filling in
like the chicane,
in the shoes for Crew's Porsche. For Lee Keane, here's our race leader in. John Fogarty is
Fire in the right front wheel. Well, that's just brie or a little bit of rubber on the brake rotor there.
We expect to see everyone in at this point who has not made that mandatory stop yet. So again, just to reiterate, and they've kicked it into gear in the back end there, so problems there for the 99 machine, not a smooth stop.
Chris?
Lee, the 99 was in Jimmy Johnson, just taking on fuel, stayed behind the wheel. He had a little bit of a problem getting out of the box, the 91 machine, the Lowe's car, but he did get it out in front of the Gainsco machine, so Jimmy Johnson might have taken the lead there.
And Darren Law got ahead of Max Pappas. He was pressuring him on track, but they did it in pit lane. Good work from the Brumos gang. On board with Law now.
He feels very confident here. These high banks have been friendly to the Porsche. David Donahue said, we struggle a little bit in the heat with a higher revving engine, but he said in the cool of the night, the track should come to us. So these boys looking for that victory. They've been knocking on the door. David Donahue had a great run going at Mid-Ohio. Unfortunately, ran out of gas in the late going, had to make an extra pit stop.
Okay, boys, let's have a look at what happened to the 85 of Ian Boss. There was
he's got a tire down. Left rear is down.
A good call there, Calvin. I saw the skid marks and how deep they were into the asphalt. And I figured something was amiss there. Oh, he cut it right here. He did.
Yep, he did.
The 72 gets in the side, took off the valve stem, and it went down instantly. You could see it.
Well, that's what we talked about earlier when they're having the argy-bargy in the opening lap. It's so easy to just whip that valve stem out and cut down a tire.
70, the GT race leading car in, Brian.
Nick Ham was in, fuel only back underway, but he lost some positions there on the stop, guys.
Banner 07 being serviced and the Banner 06 on its way in. So it's a busy pit road at the moment. And Kelly Collins released. That looks like Nick Ham a little ways up pit road there, so a comfortable margin still remains. While we're under caution, we'll squeeze in a break. When we come back, go racing. More sports cars on Speed. Stick around.
Profile, Lewis Hamilton.
He just left everybody in the dust. Magnificent, absolutely unbelievable.
He has a chance to make history.
Watch him prepare for the F1 British Grand Prix, beginning Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, on Speed.
My car, please?
The silver one. Coming right up.
Wow! Look at that! Your car! Awesome!
Not for you. Need a new car.
Get to Pontiac and transform your ride. For 10 short days, get great deals on most 07s, like 0% financing plus $1,000. See your Pontiac dealer today. Sale ends July 9th. Transformers in theaters now.
True Flow filters have been a trusted part of winning teams at world-famous races like the Baja 1000. And now you have the opportunity to experience the True Flow difference in your vehicle. Introducing True Flow's new XDI air intake, powered by a special development in inverted airflow technology. Whether you're a city driver or an off-road enthusiast, the XDI gives you greater performance and maximized velocity. The experts know. Trust True Flow. For the True Flow dealer in your area, call 866-543-2317 or check out TrueFlow.com.
We're here in this auto graveyard to demonstrate a remarkable car polish. New Finish, the once-a-year car polish. Simply wipe it on and just wipe it off. It's that easy. And look, New Finish restored a deep, hard shine even to this weather-beaten car. We polished this car with New Finish and ran it through 52 car washes. Even after heavy-duty detergents and powerful scrubbing, the water still beads. So get New Finish.
Available at Pep Boys, Dollar General, Ace, Walgreens, AutoZone, Kmart, and other leading stores.
Hello?
This is Scott from Brinks Home Security. Are you all right?
Someone tried to break in the front door.
I'm sending help right now.
Call 1-800-867-6447 now and get a Brinks Home Security System installed for just $99. And when you call now, you can also get a second keypad installed free. Plus, you could save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-867-6447 for Brinks Home Security. Rapid response, peace of mind. Call now.
Gas prices are soaring, supplies dwindling, big oil companies continue to profit billions of dollars. Stop the lies. It's possible right now to get up to 100 miles per gallon with the Gas Advance system. Experience new, inexpensive technology designed to save you money on rising fuel prices. We're so confident about our product, we'll send you our DVD absolutely free. You pay just shipping and handling. Call 1-877-MY-GAS-ADVANCE. Save money and go green. Order the Gas Advance system's DVD now. Call 1-877-MY-GAS-ADVANCE or visit gasadvance.com.
If you've got a busy weekend coming up and you don't have the luxury of sitting around and watching all of the motorsport here on Speed, you can be brought right up today with the Speed Report, Sunday at 7 Eastern, right here on Speed. Welcome back. We remain under caution here at Daytona International Speedway, round 8 of the Rolex Sports Car Series. Field formed up, and we're not too far away, and lights starting to take effect here in Florida. Somewhat of a cloudy evening, but the rain is staying away for the meantime, which is a good sign, Calendors.
Yeah, we've had enough rain. You know, the one thing about it, all that grass you see out there is still really wet. In fact, it's probably a foot deep up close to the wall over there. So if a guy were to get off the racetrack right now, it would be a really bad situation.
We said at the top of the show that a spoiler car might be the 91 Lowe's car, but Chris, will that still be the case?
Well, Lee, a couple issues with the Lowe's machine right now. It seems that the electricity on the dashboard has gone out. So what that means from a team perspective is they aren't getting any telemetry from the car. From a driver's perspective, what Jimmy Johnson is dealing with is he's not getting any shift lights. So he's having to try and figure out exactly where to be shifting that car and how to get the optimum shift out of the car. Now, he's also going to get a penalty for speeding on pit road. I asked Bill Riley, is that also associated with this problem, the electricity on the dash? He said, no, the shift speed limiter still should have been working.
Wow. So after a great qualifying and a promising early run, Jimmy Johnson will be penalized. This is the 05 of Matt Al-Hadaf on pit road. Brian?
Team struggling this weekend, Lee. The 05 right now, their regular engineer, Rick Mayer, not here. He's at another race event. You already see donuts down the side of the car, but problems are deeper than that. The computer now being plugged in, they're going to do some data acquisition from the engine, try to work on it a little bit, because right now they're getting the rev limiter at the start-finish line and halfway down the back straightaway. They got the wrong fifth gear. They're going to see what they can do about that. But, guys, I'm no engineer, but a laptop's not going to change a gear ratio.
Well, on top of that, of course, the one thing you would do is raise the rev limit, which you can do with the laptop, but that's illegal since there's a set rev limit for that engine. So you can't do that.
Well, you have to wonder if he's got two problems there. One may be the gear ratio, and also is hitting the rev limiter early. So big problems there. They really struggled in qualifying here. The car is just not working the way they wanted to. I spoke to Bill Oberlin this afternoon. He said just massive understeer on the way in, huge power slides on the way out. So they've really thrown everything bar the kitchen sink at this car for tonight's race. But problems in other areas right now.
All right, let's squeeze in another quick break so we can take you racing when we come back to Daytona, and it's getting darker by the second. Things are going to get interesting.
This Saturday, who needs fireworks with a show this explosive?
Hot, but it's Daytona, and there's only one place like it.
Best race day ever! NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, live from Daytona, Saturday, 5 Eastern. NASCAR on Speed. It's huge.
It was Dr. Ferry Porsche who once said, for something to endure, it must be unique. He believed that nothing bred greater endurance than the challenge of motorsport, and his 911 was proof. 43 wins at the Rolex 24 at Daytona, 42 victories at Le Mans, another 45 at Sebring. And did we mention the Monte Carlo and Dakar rallies? The 911, an icon, a legend, the benchmark. Dedication to perfection. It's in every Porsche built.
There is no power greater than the power of nature. And there is no spark plug more capable of harnessing power than the patented Denso Iridium Power Spark Plug. Denso Iridium Power Spark Plugs. For improved horsepower and better fuel economy on any vehicle from street to strip. Visit densoperformance.com for more information.
Rated everyone. Who needs roads when there's dirt? Out now.
I know where he's heading. Don't worry, I'll be there.
Now playing at Sea-Doo.com.
In today's fast-paced world, it helps to have a credit card. If you've been turned down or declined, visit PurposeMoneyRacing.com to apply for a real MasterCard credit card.
Hi, I'm Tommy Constantine with Purpose Money Racing. Do you want to drive a 350 Z2? Log on to PurposeMoneyRacing.com for your chance today.
Call the number on your screen now to apply today for your own MasterCard credit card, and you'll be automatically entered for a chance to win a Nissan 350Z.
Apply for the credit card you deserve. Even if you've been told no, have less than perfect credit. We believe in people, not just scores.
The Tribute and Imagine Gold MasterCard credit cards are real credit cards, not secured or debit cards. Call the number on your screen or log on now.
Applying for one of these cards is easy, convenient, and you could be approved within minutes.
Apply for a MasterCard credit card and start your future today.
Purpose Money. Real credit for real people.
Let us put you in the driver's seat.
Call 866-913-1288 or log on now.
Welcome back. The Brumos Porsche 250 continues, and updating you on the teams and cars and how that 45-minute rule plays into hand. Everybody has completed their mandatory stop, so that takes that out of the equation. We focus on the remainder of the race. And the car in the lead at the moment is the Sitco number 11 at the hands of Chris Sakaris. With more on this team, here's Brian.
Well, Peter Barron is the team owner here at Samax Racing. And Peter, you've been gone for a while running Milka Duno in the IRL, and it's great to see Deborah, who is running the team, your wife. She's much prettier than you, so we've enjoyed talking to her. But anyway, great to see you back, bud. And Chris Sakaris, what a find for you, doing a great job this weekend. You guys always seem to run well here at Daytona.
Oh, we love this place. You know, it's nice to have our home track at Daytona. And yeah, you know, Debbie did a great job teeing up the whole thing so we could come in here and look glamorous. But no, we're really happy with the whole team and the way it's been working. Chris has been super. You know, he brought on Dynamic Technologies. I'm really happy to be having them out front now, and thrilled that Chris is out there up front.
What is the magic here at Daytona? You guys run well. You finished 2nd and 6th in the Rolex 24. What is it that you got to do to get a car to go fast here?
It's the whole thing, just making the car work well over a whole run. You know, this place is pretty tough on tires. Guys tend to grind off tires on the rear at the end of a stint, so it's making the car work well on all four. You know, maybe give away some in qualifying to have a work for a better race setup and all that. And remember, hey, this one's only 2.5 hours, but the other one, you know, was about 24 hours. So it's a car that works good through the whole time.
Well, great to see the Samax car out front. We'll see if they can find victory lane tonight, guys.
Well, it's good to see Peter back. Of course, that team is based in Pompano Beach here in Florida. Not only is Peter back, but Steve Chalice, who is a renowned engineer. He normally works on Milka Duno's IRL car, and he's back to assist the team in this race tonight as well. So Samax, they have pleasant memories from Daytona. We'll see if they can convert that into more tonight.
We understand Chris Sekeres is going to be in the car for the remainder of the season, so that's good news for Patrick Carpentier, who wants a regular teammate. They can really start to develop this car around both drivers. Here we go, looking for the green flag.
Finally, this first full course caution comes to an end. We're back racing, and the pressure is on Sekeres.
Remember, the car in second place right now, Jimmy Johnson, he's got to make a stop here for speeding on pit lane. There you see the action in the middle of the pack. The 23 car, the 99 car right alongside. Fogarty takes position.
Boy, 23 got bumped and pushed out. Bergmeister, just a little contact, pushed him wide. It was really lucky not to get in that wet grass.
And you're not talking about a rookie driver. This is the defending Daytona prototype champion who got hustled and muscled out of the way. We'll see how Bergmeister can respond.
Boy, good shuffle at the back of that pack we just saw, too.
Look at Fogarty. He just blew by Rojas there. Now he sets its sights on Pappas.
Wouldn't you want to drive that car? Boy,
it's got to be fun.
He's got so much.
Every weekend they just unload that car and it immediately goes to the top of the charts, and just found the sweet spot. There you see Jimmy Johnson trying to get the power down. Wiggles the rear end of that 91 machine as he tries to get up on the banking. This is familiar territory for Jimmy Johnson. He loves road racing, however.
Law is applying the pressure to Johnson, and Bergmeister was applying the pressure to Memo Rojas. Here's the replay of the restart. Look at the red Gainsco car. Squeezing, squeezing.
That was very
And there's a
close.
bump between the 23 and the 99. Remember what we saw before with the valve stumps getting knocked off? It's when you hit side to side, it's real easy to shave that right off of there.
Let's look at the straightaway speed here. We know that the 99 car is running a relatively low downforce. He's the 5th car in picture right now, the red machine. Pontiac motor in front of him.
And this has been a real source of frustration for Crone Racing, for Jeff Hazel and the boys. They're saying as Jimmy Johnson comes in to serve that penalty for speeding on pit road, Jeff Hazel said, this car, it's got the same power plant, the same engine. We're running the same machinery. Why are they so fast? That's what we've got to find out.
Well, he just went by Pappas, and now he's got his sights on Law. He wants the lead back.
Law's a sitting duck, too, because with the Porsche engine, he won't get off the corner good. Watch right up here when they go into this horseshoe corner. When they accelerate out, watch the 99 launch.
With more on the 99, Brian.
Fogarty flying on a march as you guys watch it on the screen. Now remember, during that full course caution, when everyone came to pit road, the 99 Gainsco team took the opportunity not only to splash it with fuel, but also put new Hoosier tires on it. So he's got 4 fresh tires. I don't know about the guys in front of him, but he is definitely hooked up. Those fresh Hoosiers are part of it, Chris.
Well, Brian, before that caution came out, we saw the Telmex machine come to pit lane for just that splash of fuel. Now, I went and talked to Tim Keene, the team manager over there, just to ask about that strategy, and he said the problem was Mamo felt that he was being held up by the 60 Shank car, Mark Patterson, so they felt, let's just get him in now, get him filled up, get him some clear track so he can run well. Now, also that caution played into their hands. Now, Rojas was in about 10th when they came into pit lane. Right now, up to 6th.
Just updating you on some GT racing as well as we enjoy the Daytona prototypes. Whoa, we've lost the 17, the Doncaster Porsche. Dave Lacey and Greg Wilkins.
I think that must be Wilkins behind the wheel. Dave Lacey's pretty tall. He's up in the roof lining of that car typically, so.
Just, hey, we've got some big news here. Penalty to the 99. John Fogarty, the flying Gainsco car, unavoidable contact. Avoidable contact with the 0-1.
Well, if that's the action that we saw, Lee, that's a very tough call that the officials have made on him, but they're not really standing for any trading paint. You know, we didn't see the 0-1 off the road, so that's typically when we've seen a penalty of that nature this year, Dorsey, when a car actually spins out. Trading paint, they've said, is okay.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, normally when you take a guy around backwards, you get that penalty, but this was just a little roughing up, and it wasn't just the one car the 99 got into. It got in the side of the 23, too, but that was hard racing, and it didn't result in anybody losing any position, so that is a very controversial call in my book.
Chris Sekeres for the Citgo Samax team leads this race over John Fogarty, then Darren Law, then Max Pappas and York Bergmeister. That's the top 5. Then Rojas, France, Wilkins, Negri and Angelelli. That's the top 10. Law gets a little wiggly on the exit of that turn. The pressure is coming from Pappas. That car in front, remember, as we just mentioned, must serve a penalty.
And that totally changes the complexion of this race and the strategy that Kyle Brannon, the engineer on this Gainsco machine, will have to play out. There's no way if they stop right now, I believe they can get to the finish without more fuel in that car. So be an interesting call here to see what they do. They've got to keep Fogarty in. They can't do a routine stop here and change drivers under a penalty, so Fogarty will need to stay in the car. No fuel can go in when they serve this penalty, so it's just an extra unneeded pit stop.
And the penalty is normally a drive-through penalty. They won't hold him at all, but he's going to have to get off that high-speed banking, slow up, get into the pit lane speed limiter, drive the full length of pit lane, and then resume. It's a huge penalty when you talk about making an extra stop, though.
On the Ruby Tuesday scoreboard at the top of your screen, it's GT at the moment, and they're mixing it up nicely. Here comes Fogarty onto the lane. You've got Nick Ham in the Mazda, Kelly Collins in the Pontiac, Lux in the Tafel Porsche, and Nastasi in the Black Forest Mustang. Great spread of manufacturers. Fogarty's in.
45 miles an hour is the speed limit down pit lane, and the other guys are blasting by at about 170, so this will cost you about 40 seconds or so making this trip down pit lane to the rest of the field.
Brian?
Bob Stallings down here, the rest of the crew shaking their heads. Bob, what's up?
Well, we looked at the replay. It looked like it was incidental contact. The 01 car was out on the outside. We got hit from behind. John hit his brakes, and the 01 came down on us. Looked a bit like we actually got hit by that car, and they brought us in. You know, sometimes they don't always get them right.
I was going to say, typically what we've seen is once a car is hit and spun, you get called for a penalty. Have you guys been called before when you made contact but didn't spin anybody out?
I have never, ever seen a call like that one before. I just don't get it. It was a racing incident. He wasn't trying to do some dumb move on the guy. Trying to pass him on the inside. The guy came down on us. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I heard Bob Stallings telling the rest of the crew, guys, we've got plenty of time. Let's shake it off and get back out there. But you know, John Fogarty is going to be wound up. The only tire mark I saw in the car, just in front of the right rear wheel.
Well, let's have a look at the replay of the restart, just to take another look at it. We've got a car stopped out on track. We'll get back to that in a moment. Watch the red and the white and blue cars.
Right there, they just made the contact that we talked about. And, of course, that bounced, though, went over up to 23. But that was a racing incident with 3 cars wide in a turn 1.
I just don't get the call at all, unless there was something else that we have not seen. If that is the incident, that is an extremely harsh call to really take what would be the leader of the race out.
That was the 39 car that you called a minute ago that was spun around down there. See it back on track.
Christian Fittipaldi behind the wheel. This car running a Pontiac power plant for the first time this season. It was Porsche. They've made the change in power. And we'll see how that transition is working for the Chiva Racing Fab car. Here's the replay of what happened to Christian Fittipaldi.
Just loses it under power, Dorsey, trying to get on the gas hard. It's a little bit bumpy there coming off onto the speedway, but these guys struggling a little bit this weekend. They've made this change. They've really made a lot of progress with the Porsche motor. Had an extremely fast car at the last round at Mid-Ohio, and making this change midstream, Dorsey, I don't totally agree with it. Yes, ultimately maybe the Pontiac may be a little bit stronger, but to make that change, the car's going to handle differently, and that's what we're seeing right now.
And you know what? That engine change might have contributed to that spin, because he's used to driving that Porsche where you fully mat it. And this, of course, Pontiac has more torque. He probably just put a little bit more throttle, the same amount he would in the Porsche. It lit the rear end up and round he went.
Brian?
Guys, I checked with the team earlier about that Pontiac power plant, and here's the deal. Once it's been in there, they really haven't had a chance to even test it. They ran a couple of hours at Putnam Park, really haven't had a chance to put it through its paces, so they don't know the power of it, and they don't know the balance that it's going to change the car. I talked to Paul Hasselgren, the engine builder, and he said the drivability of this Pontiac is very different than the Porsche. In fact, the Porsche may be better drivable down low and have better throttle adjustment, better throttle feel at low RPM. So the driver's going to have to get used to it. The engineers are going to have to get used to that Pontiac lump in the back and the way it affects the handling of that car.
Well, this may not be for the lead. In fact, it's 16th position, but this is good, hard racing. Christian Fittipaldi and Jimmy Johnson. You're right with Jimmy. He's looking for an opportunity by, but Christian is playing tough.
They had a good wiggle at the last time, Calvin. Looks like he's got it cleanly. Christian's got a half load of grass in the radiator, too. That might be a factor of him having to pit. I don't know yet.
So Jimmy Johnson gets that position back. Boy, was that speeding on pit lane costly for the Nextel Cup champion, but he's slowly working his way back.
A revolutionary new way to watch NASCAR is coming. More racing, less commercials. TNT's wide open coverage from Daytona. the Pepsi 400 with wide open coverage. Saturday at 7:30. A revolution is coming, only on TNT.
My car, please?
The silver one. Coming right up.
Wow! Look at that! Your car! Awesome!
Not for you.
Need a new car? Get to Pontiac and transform your ride. For 10 short days, get great deals on most 07s, like 0% financing plus $1,000. See your Pontiac dealer today. Sale ends July 9th. Transformers in theaters now.
Every car has got something special to it. That special look, or that special color, or that special sound. I couldn't imagine building a car and not put a nice exhaust system on there that sounded good. My name is Boyd Coddington. A hot rod isn't a hot rod until it sounds like one. That's why I prefer MagnaFlow.
I signed up for car insurance on Progressive.com. I saved money, which was great, but they also have these local response vehicles. And if you're in an accident or need an estimate or whatever, a Progressive guy will come to you. And they're all over. I am a musician who's on the road a lot, so it's pretty cool that they'll come to me if my van, you know, gets pummeled by adoring fans. Or if I hit a pole.
Progressive. Saving hundreds is just the beginning.
Came out of nowhere.
Before the gremlins get you, get Progressive. #1 in motorcycle insurance.
We are back at Daytona. You're watching Sports Cars on Speed. This is the Rolex Sports Car Series. Lee Diffie, Calvin Fish, Dorsey Schrader with you here in the booth. And we've got Chris Neville and Brian Till on pit road. You're looking at Darren Law in the Red Bull Brumos Porsche, who is ahead of Max Pappas. And yes, that car, the 58, is our new race leader. Why? This is the reason. Chris Sakaris was enjoying perhaps the drive of his career. But take a look at what happened heading into the bus stop.
Oh, just gets it in there with a little bit too much speed, locks the rear. It's so easy to do there on that flat and spins it out. That was for the lead.
He may have been feeling the pressure, may have took a glimpse in his side view mirrors there, saw Darren Law getting close and just missed his braking point a little bit and just carried way too much speed through that apex.
That's the darkest part of the racetrack too, Calvin, as you know. When you brake for that chicane back there, it is really truly black. And look at this onboard with the windshield wiper flipped up over the top of the roof on the 10 car.
Good scrap. It's Angelelli and Memo Rojas. That battle will continue between the two Rileys, one Pontiac powered, the other Lexus powered. But let's talk to the man who may get into the car while it's still in the lead. I was talking about David Donahue. We'll try that shortly. We'll get back to that on pit road as we continue this scrap. And Memo Rojas is handling this pressure nicely.
Great shots there. You see the brake rotor just glowing in these nighttime conditions. And Max Angelelli, these boys have rebounded well from a very strange qualifying session.
Got him on the inside.
That's the Max the Axe patented move right there. Gotcha.
He loves the brake pedal. He knows how to use it at the last possible moment. Had a weird qualifying session. It was abbreviated with a spin by one of the cars. They brought out the red flag. All the cars sat on pit lane. And when Jonathan Cochet, Max's teammate, went to fire up the SunTrust machine, no life. They run a much smaller battery for the qualifying session to save a little bit of weight. And somehow one of the switches has been left on, they believe, which drained the battery down. He qualified dead last.
When you look into the cockpit of those cars, you see that red light right back to behind the driver. That light is what illuminates the gauges on the dash. The gauges themselves have no backlighting whatsoever.
Well, quite often you hear us talk about how the Porsche-powered cars, the Daytona prototypes, have to work harder. The high-revving six-cylinder Porsches. Well, I tell you what, they're performing beautifully here today. Porsche leads with Darren Law and sits third with Jörg Bergmeister.
It's too early, and I don't want to jinx him, but what if that car could win the Brumos 250?
That would be magic, I tell you. I mean, Darren Law had a great run here at the 24-hour race. In fact, had the fastest lap of the race, the 24-hour race. And both cars, the 59 machine as well, was running very strong. So they have a good setup for this place. Spoke to David Donahue yesterday, and he said, you know what? It's a very weird setup. It doesn't work anywhere else, but we've come here. We're going to trust it. And right now it's working. They're up front. He touches a GT car there.
Yeah, they got into it for sure, as that was in a high-speed sweeper. Look at the back of the car. Damage to the aero package at the back. That is going to hurt here.
Big time. That's a lot of downforce, completely torn away the right side of that rear gurney and tail lip.
Chris, are you still in the Brumos camp?
Lee, I am here with David Donahue, and David, the car has shown a lot of speed since VIR. I heard that there was a monkey that was going to be sacrificed today to try and get it off your back, but it looks like it still might be on there with what happened with Darren there.
I don't know. I was just standing here waiting on you, and I heard it over the PA myself. It sounds like there's some damage to the back of the car. I know we lost a little bit of a corner last year at Sears Point. It's amazing how effective that deck spoiler is. So hopefully it's not so bad. We'll see.
Well, hopefully they can get that car back to pit lane here and see if they can do some fixes to it. We've talked to a few teams, and they said if you lose one of those corners, that middle downforce gurney there, it can take actually a couple 100 pounds of downforce off that rear corner, so that's going to be pretty tough getting around here.
Well, it'll be really fast in the straightaway. That part's good, but the real deal now for Darren is, can he run that car the rest of this session, not lose too much ground, and maybe be able to change that rear section when they do their driver change?
I think that's a tough piece to change, though, Dorsey. That's on the very back tail. Kind of the hood of the engine can come off in one piece, but fixing that will really cost them dearly if they try and do it under anything but. And here we see some problems with the 30 machine. Sean Price having a great run in that car.
So too was Tom Nastasi, and that was the Mustang you saw involved. Tom was running in the top 5, top 6 in class. That's a really promising run. He's teamed with Terry Borchella here tonight. Great to see Terry back, a former series champion. But that's frustration for Nastasi. Let's see if we can unravel what went down.
Little skirmish right there. Nastasi bumps the GTO Pontiac and puts it around.
Just
actually, it's not
him around there.
Oh, and look at this. They're not happy with it. You're not going to come on here.
Yeah, Tom just got very late on the brakes there. They've been having a few braking issues. I was down there during the practice session today, and they changed the brake pads during the session. Terry Borchella behind the wheel just said, we've got to change these brakes. It's not stopping correctly, and I'm not sure if he just got caught out there with where Sean got on the brakes, but Tom Nastasi and the whole crew from Black Forest Racing doing a great job with this Mustang. Has shown tremendous speed. They had Alex Tagliani, the champ car star in the car earlier this year, and he just went down the road with the setup that they weren't really sure about, a little bit too stiff for what Tom needed in a GT car, so they've changed direction now. But Tom has had more different co-drivers this year than a soccer team, it seems like.
And to paint the picture for you in GT, Nick Ham, the pole sitter, still leads from Kelly Collins and Eric Lux. Then Andy Lally, here he comes. The man who has put in some amazing drives this year, sits 4th in class. Bryce Miller doing a good job in the Farnbacher Lowell's Shoes for Cruise Porsche. He sits 5th in class ahead of Tim Lewis Jr., Emil Asentato, and Nastasi drops down the order. Dominic Cicero in the Stevenson Corvette, not too far out of the action either.
Now, right on board right now, the Mazda. That's the lightest car in the GT series. Of course, the Pontiac, I call it GTO, it's a GXPR that I was talking about, is the heaviest. And look at those headers glowing inside the right front wheel well. That's the exhaust system. These Mazdas put out tremendous exhaust heat and a lot of noise, too.
Great sound, though. I mean, this car really works well, but they lost direction, it seemed, for a couple of races you mentioned in the Open, Dorsey. And right now they're just trying to get back on track. They're still in this championship hunt. Of course, their drivers, Ham and Sylvain Tremblay, got split when they had the accident at Watkins Glen. It's going to be tough for Nick Ham to really perform at the same level in the championship as his teammate.
As the GT gang continue their fight, perhaps the quiet achiever in this race so far is the 10 SunTrust Pontiac Riley, as Law has his hands full trying to arrest the speed of the 58 car. The SunTrust machine is moving well. Let's talk to one of its drivers.
Lee Max Angelelli up to 4th right now. Jonathan Cochet qualified that car. And Jonathan, obviously you're a very experienced sports car racer. Nighttime racing is nothing new. But the high banks at Daytona, you've never been here before. Give me your impressions of Daytona International Speedway.
Yeah, it was my first time here this morning. When I arrived, I was quite impressed by this circuit. Of course, I knew this circuit because of this famous race, Daytona 24 Hours. I used to do some races in Europe, but this sort of circuit was Really impressive for me. I really like it.
Very high speed. One of the things you were talking about was visibility on the banking. Hard to see around in front of you.
Yeah, it's not that easy. As I told you, we don't have this sort of corner in Europe. So you have to look very far to see the next corner. And when I saw the video of last year, I didn't realize it was that much banking. So it was quite impressive, the first lap I did. So it's really exciting here.
Very exciting indeed. Up to fourth right now, and Cochet obviously acquitting himself very well. But guys, you were talking about the aero devices on the 58 and being damaged. Interestingly enough, the guys on the 99 Gainsco team don't have that spoiler that hangs out so far on the side. They cut that off so that it's flat with the side of the car. You know why? So if they bump somebody from the side, it doesn't hook on the car and rip it off, just like it has on the 58. I was telling Mike Colucci that earlier in the day, and he said, well, maybe we'll have to cut it off. I bet you they do now.
Well, let's take a look at the replay and show you exactly what happened to the Red Bull Brumos Porsche.
This is a high-speed turn. He's trying to get over and get a position, and I don't know. I think he thought he had cleared the Corvette when he turned, but it hadn't happened yet, and they made that contact. Here, you'll see it here, and listen.
Whatsoever, Dorsey, so it's really Darren just trying to find every inch of the road to make that turn in has cost him dearly. We see him squirming around under braking. Remember, it's not just downforce through the corners, it also affects your braking ability with the downforce down into these corners as well.
Well, Darren's used to driving a car that's a little challenging. Remember, he started his DP career in a BMW-powered Piccio, which was not the most sleek of race cars that we've ever seen. So he knows how to muscle one of these things around this circuit. Chris, what do you have for us?
Well, we had checked in with the team, and they're saying that Darren's saying the car's a bit of a handful right now in the left-handers, pretty loose trying to get off those corners, so obviously that downforce is affecting him as he's getting through the left-handers around the racetrack. They're not going to bring him in. They say he can deal with it at this point in time, and when they do come in, the only thing they can really do is just rip whatever is left of that wing right off the car.
Well, that's the problem in it. As it sits right now, he's only lost one side of it, so he's got grip on the other side, but none, and it's going to really affect the car going left to right.
Very promising signs for Krone Racing, though. Max Pappas has done an outstanding job. Hasn't made any silly moves. He's just running good lap pace, consistent, staying out of trouble, and putting that car in perhaps a winning position later tonight.
Profile, Lewis Hamilton.
He just left everybody in the dust.
Magnificent, absolutely unbelievable.
He has a chance to make history.
Watch him prepare for the F1 British Grand Prix, beginning Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, on Speed.
What do you got? This watch can teleport you anywhere in the world.
Not bad.
Not bad? You can read a person's mind. This pen turns into a helicopter.
What's this?
The new Kawasaki KFX 450R. Fuel injection, reverse gear, aluminum.